What's shaking, guys? Luke Dancy here. Hope you're all doing well out there. I am super stoked tonight for my guest. I've got Anna DEGUZMAN with me, and she is the self-proclaimed queen of cardistry. Not really. I'm stoked to chat with her tonight. She is a cardist. She is a magician. She has started doing a lot of brand deals. You might have seen her on TV recently with a Microsoft commercial. Let's just stop talking about her and start talking to her. There she is, Anna DEGUZMAN. How we doing?
Up? Hello.
All right.
Okay.
Good to see you out there.
Hi, Luke. How is everyone doing? Thank you so much for having me on the show.
Long overdue. I was telling you when we were getting ready for this, my very first female guest. You are not going to be the last. Hopefully we'll get a lot more after this. Speaking of which, that's where I want to lead off, Anna, to be totally honest with you. In a male-dominated industry, two of them actually, cardistry and magic. What's it like being a female in both of those industries, you know, with all the guys?
Is it really choppy, first off?
What's that?
Is it choppy?
It was a little bit. It seems to be okay right now, though.
Okay. Well, I'll try. Hopefully you guys can hear me all right.
Yep.
Well, being a female in magic, like in cardistry, you definitely stick out, but I think it was an advantage because in my case, because you are so different, you stand out much easier. And I think that is really how I got to grow really fast because I didn't want people to be like, oh, she's good because she's a girl. I wanted people to be like, oh, she's good.
Yep.
So it made me work harder to like keep up because I didn't want to just be good for being a girl. I wanted to be good at any level.
And I was actually going back in time today. I told you this earlier. I went to your YouTube channel and I found the very first video that you ever uploaded. I'm not going to show it. Don't worry. You're safe. But that was actually something that you said in the video was, I'm making this video because I'm proud to be doing what I'm doing as a female. Like you came out and said that and you're like, I'm here. This is who I am.
I can't believe yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you were much younger then. Much younger then.
Yeah.
But, you know. So we got a lot of people watching. A lot of people are already starting to ask questions. A lot of people are also wanting to ask you out. I had to throw it out there. There's quite a few guys that are Anna DEGUZMAN fans, even outside of Magic. So
Big fan.
There you go. So there you go. What was it though that got you started in all this? Even before you are where you are now. You do what you do now. But what was it in the early days that even got you interested in magic and cardistry in particular? Something you really shined at. Look at her. She's always ready.
I was actually into cardistry first, which I think a lot of people start off in magic. I found cardistry and I thought it was just like the coolest thing I'd ever seen. There was nothing really like it. I'd seen some magic tricks and it all kind of felt the same. When I saw cardistry, I'd never seen people handle cards like that. And I was like, I want to do that. I can do that. And I would watch the videos over and over again and like try and recreate those moves. And then eventually started variating moves and creating my own. So that's how it started.
And what are we looking at here? Which video is this? What are you doing? Those beautiful cherries over there.
Video.
There you are.
The Kuma video. I'm using black cherries there from Derek McKee, who's one of my very, very good friends. And when was this? This had to be in 20. Oh, there you go. I was just trying to share this video. It is probably 2017. I don't remember honestly when I shot this.
Okay.
But it was probably really, really early when I first moved to LA.
And how long have you been in LA since you said it's about 2016?
I moved to LA January 2017. Okay. So it's been almost 4 years.
Nice. Obviously you like it there because you're still there.
I love it here. It's home for sure.
Nice. Very cool. Question coming in from YouTube. Satchel wants to know, who do you look up to when it comes to cardistry? Who are some of the people that you look at and go, yeah, they're all right. They're legit.
Andre Jick, was a big one.
Mm-hmm.
Noel Heath for isolations. Who else? it's the game has changed so much
Yeah.
in terms of who makes like really cool stuff. Anything on Best Cards Alive, I really love. Um, I was much more active in the cardistry community before, and then I kind of got into Magic, and then my like it is very different. Surprisingly, the cardistry and Magic community, they are separate even though they're related.
Yep.
So when I started getting into Magic, I kind of like lost a lot of like being in tune with the cardistry community because being in Magic, like it's just different people. I started doing stack, to be honest with you, and that's like a Magic thing. And so when I did that, you couldn't shuffle the cards, and so I ended up really like deterring my cardistry ability because I was just always not trying to shuffle the cards. So I just like, started doing like false shuffles and stuff like that.
Nice. Oh yeah, she's always up to something over there. And speaking of that, actually, you've got the cards. Somebody was asking, if you have a favorite deck of cards. Is there a favorite deck of cards that you like, or maybe decks?
I do. I love Jazz Stripes by Got Magic. They're not available. I bought them all out actually, technically, because they. Well, I don't know if this is public knowledge. So my friend Nick Earl, you know Nick, I think.
Oh yeah.
He runs Got Magic. He is actually also one of my very, very good friends. And he released these cards called Jazz Stripes. They're designed after the Dixie Cup. And then Solo Cup, who owns the design, wasn't very happy about it. And so he had to take them down. But then he had this like stack of cards that he is not legally allowed to sell. So I bought them out, and those are the cards I use in my show. So those are my favorite just because the design is super nostalgic. And then on top of that, they do have standard faces. So it was good for Magic as well. And then he was giving them at such a fair rate to me to have like a custom deck that was like basically the same price as me, like cheaper than if I were to like buy a whole bunch of standards. Because I mean, I didn't want the show, the deck I used in my show to be standard playing cards because they were just because I was just like my show is called The Queen of Cardistry, and like I don't know, I just didn't want to use standard bikes in my show. I wanted a deck that represented me and fit the show and the vibe and the look.
Very cool.
So I like those. I like Monarchs. I like the Black Tiger deck. Obviously, that was like the first deck that really got me into like the playing card collecting world and even introduced me to like Illusionist and Theory 11. Anyone decks. I love those.
Depends on the day.
The one by Edgar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question, Anna, and I'm going to ask you this because obviously, you are a female here, so a lot of people they look at what decks of cards are, the custom decks, kind of the same way, and I've heard this used, so I'm curious if what I'm saying is true to you. The same way that a girl would look at her closet and go, this purse would go with this outfit, or these shoes would go great with this. Like, is that kind of what you look at custom decks as, is like the vibe of the day?
I have absolutely, like, I have hundreds of playing cards.
Oh, I bet.
And I definitely like go for which one is matching my vibe that day.
Sure. That's cool. You forgot to mention the cherries, by the way, but okay.
Oh, cherries are, I mean,
someone put it up and I'm like,
I really do, because the reason I used cherries in the Kuma video, I think the black cherries, and then when you guys came out with the red ones with the metallic, those were my favorite. The pink ones, I think those are my top 3 colors, just because those are my favorite colors. Yeah, black. Black is my everyday. The red is probably my favorite like shade, and then pink because it's like girly.
Okay. Some other questions coming in here. One of them is actually about cardistry. With Magic, it's pretty, I wouldn't say it's easy, but the way to learn seems to be much easier than cardistry. It's laid out much easier as far as the foundations, the basic books, the basic things to watch and learn. When it comes to cardistry, what type of resources are there really available for people that want to get into it and they really want to like learn it the right way, I guess, you know?
For cardistry, I mean, I started just by watching videos,
Right.
YouTube videos, playing them over and over again and slowing them down,
Mm-hmm.
trying to figure out the move. That is how I learned. It wasn't through necessarily like a DVD or a
Mm-hmm.
book. And it was through other cardists, like just hanging out and jamming with other people. That is how I learned. So I think nothing can replace like in-person
Yeah. Well,
mentorship.
I guess the other thing too with cardistry, it's such a visual thing that if you watch it, that is pretty much the best way to learn is just to watch it, and because it's not like magic where it's a secret. And that's the other cool thing about cardistry is that
Yeah, that was the thing
it's
also
open.
what got me into cardistry is because it's not a secret and people were
Yeah.
much more willing to teach me versus magic. It was like so hush hush and people were really weird about it.
Yeah.
That's like
Speaking of more of that, actually, I've also got your video that you did with Murphy's. The Queen of Cardistry obviously has to use the queens. So there you go.
yeah, this is also old. This was before I even moved to LA. I was probably 16, 17, 16, maybe. I don't remember honestly. This was like a really long time ago. Um different lifetime ago, honestly.
It's funny though because it's not that.
We shot it because I lived in Sacramento. We shot this because the warehouse is in Sacramento
Mhm.
in Northern California. So yeah, wow. I'm like cringing. I'm sorry, guys.
This isn't that long ago, and I would assume.
It is long. That was a long
Yeah.
time ago. No, this is a
Okay.
long time ago.
Okay.
To me, this is a totally different.
Wow. Okay.
I was really young. I was still very new to the scene.
Okay. You definitely had the chops. It doesn't matter what your age was or is. You definitely have the chops, and you've had them for a while, which is, and not only that, not only have you done videos like this, which I'm gonna let finish this one out here. Here it comes to the end, and you guys should watch this trailer, not because it's a Murphy's trailer, but the words that go with it. Pretty cool. The whole message is
Oh yes, yeah.
pretty
Because
cool.
they gave me words that I had to say. I remember this vividly now. I was sick, like I had a cold or something, and I was like, "Wait, you need me to talk? I sound horrible." And I was like, "The risk me, the queen's finger." Like I sounded really sick.
Well, I'm glad you're okay now. I'm glad you're okay now.
We're
Uh,
healthy. We're young. We're alive.
And it's funny, Rich Pacone over on our Facebook says, "You're cringing. Most people can't do half of that stuff. Doesn't matter how old they are, basically." So, yeah, you definitely have the skills. That's for sure. Um, looking through more questions here.
I'm
More
glad
questions.
you think so. I think, yeah, because wouldn't you say the audience for you guys is mostly magicians?
Yeah, I would assume probably tonight
But
we got a few more cardists because we've got you on here. But
I hope so.
yeah,
God,
yeah.
I claim cardistry. Like I've always claimed cardistry first.
It's something else. Speaking of magic, I'm looking for the person that asked this. I'll find it in just a second. Fullis, you did Penn and Teller Fullis. Why don't you talk to us a little bit about that experience? You know, as a cardist first, coming in, and obviously you blended some cardistry with the magic. Why don't you talk about being on Fullis a little bit?
Foolish was probably the best TV experience I ever did. It is by far one of my most proudest achievements in the magic community. It was a milestone. I Yeah, I'm so grateful for that opportunity. That really, I wouldn't say launched me because I had already been on like TV a few times. Like it was just different. Like to me to perform for my idols that I'd already been watching for years, like that was a different level.
Mhm.
Um and yeah, I think they treat the magicians very well, like versus other TV shows I've done. They are magic first. So they give you a consultant, they go run angles with you so that they make sure they shoot it the best way possible so that you're happy with how you're being represented on TV. So that was awesome. I have nothing bad to say about that opportunity.
Sweet. Um,
Hopefully one day I'll fool them.
and
Actually, no, I'm not gonna say that because the truth is like my goal was never to fool them. Like, yeah,
sure.
it would have been cool, but like the truth is it's an honor just being there. And they're the best of the best. It's really hard to fool them.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, you did it, and you've done other TV appearances. Also, Masters of Illusion. You've appeared on there on, I think, even this
I've been
season,
on
right?
matches so many times. They keep asking me. Um, yeah, Masters is cool too. Totally different though.
Yeah.
It was a different feeling to be on Fool Us, where it's the premise of Masters is not a competition. It's just performance versus that extra level of having to try to fool these master magicians
Mm-hmm.
adds a different level of pressure in like a good way. And it was just a more anyway, I had to be in Vegas for that, and it was fun to be in Vegas. I love Vegas. Masters of Illusion shoots here in LA, so
Yeah, that's an easy trip for you. Yeah.
yeah.
And then also, speaking of LA, you've also worked the Castle, which is another huge accomplishment. The Magic Castle. That's got to be pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the magic place. We got the Magic Circle in the UK, the Magic Castle over here, and yeah, that's a big deal. You were part of the junior program, is that right?
I was, yeah.
Yeah, very nice. So looking through the questions here, also someone mentioned, and this is a good point too. Fort Master over on the YouTubes says, "So awesome, Anna, to see more women rocking magic." And it's true. There's been a lot more people, and I'm sure that you're part of that. Helping to show other people that it's okay and that it's good and that it's something that should be done because it's true. No reason
Yeah,
not to.
my goal with magic was always to inspire more people to get into it, especially young girls, because I didn't have anyone to
Yeah.
look up to when I was getting started. There's no big female magician. Like
Yep.
there's not like a Copperfield, David Blaine, like those are all men. So I want to be that
Yep.
for girls. I want there to be like a like female magician headliner that people
Oh, yeah.
can look up to and aspire to be like. And I just didn't. I don't see a lot of girls doing it, and I mean, I'm not doing it the best either. And like my that is like something that I've always wanted, but I think I took a hiatus from magic for a little bit. I take breaks often, actually, um, and you know even in my absence, I didn't really see anyone taking that spot. So when I came back, which is like now, I would say, where I'm really, really active, I think a rising tide raises all the ships. Is that the quote? I could
Yeah,
be
that sounds
totally,
right. I think
yeah,
that's right.
something
Yeah.
like that. So
Yeah.
it's like if more girls are in it, which I do see more
Oh, yeah.
girls doing cardistry and magic videos, like that's only gonna raise the stakes, raise the level, because like there's not much competition right now. So I would love for someone to take the throne.
That's actually a good way to look at it. You're right. There's not a lot of competition. So if you're willing to put in the work, which obviously you've done, uh, you can definitely take the spot. Um, Speaking of that, actually, I didn't realize you lived in Sacramento, which explains the next clip and the next thing that I was going to talk about here. Fort Master, again, he's just full of good stuff over here. He says, "How did it feel visiting the Murphy's Magic Warehouse?" And I've got some footage of that.
Yeah, I think I did that. I did that in 2018 because I had
Yep.
already lived in LA, but I was visiting Sacramento,
Okay.
and it was only like what 2.5 years ago. Wow, I love this video. I told you this, Luke. This is one of my favorite videos on my YouTube channel to this day,
Nice.
because I honestly miss making videos that I like to watch. You know? Like when I started doing this, it wasn't for to be famous or whatever. Like if I want to be famous, like I wouldn't do magic. Like people really say this to me all the time. They're like, "Oh, she's just doing magic for like clout." And I'm like, "You know how many other things I could be doing that could make me famous? It's not magic."
Sure.
I love magic. I just have a genuine like interest in magic. And when I make videos, especially when I first started, I would make videos just because they're the videos that I like to watch. So I would watch like deck collection videos, I would watch unboxings, videos that were just related to magic and cards, not
Yeah.
necessarily like performance, not necessarily tutorials. I liked knowing about this world, and it's so niche, just like the Magic playing card industry. And I wanted to, I don't know, I came up with this idea of like, let me give a tour of Murphy's Warehouse. And even I learned stuff during that tour because I didn't realize how big
Oh
Murphy's
yeah.
was.
Oh yeah.
Murphy's is a massive operation. I just thought you guys did some magic, some tricks. You guys housed some of the major like tricks in the industry. Like you guys are who distribute to every like magic shop. You're the wholesaler, so you go B to B2B.
That's right. What do you think were some of your favorite moments going through the warehouse and all this stuff? Did something pop out at you,
Um,
like magic wise?
Magic wise,
Because there's so much stuff in there. Like I don't know if there
there's
was
so
some
much.
tricks.
I mean, love Michelle.
Mhm.
She let me like run through anything I grabbed and put in my cart. I was basically allowed to take home. So like, I didn't want to go too crazy. And at the time, especially during this time, I was still very much, I did some magic, but I was still very much cardistry. I didn't know much about magic. So at the time, I definitely didn't take advantage of all the magic stuff I could have gotten from
Uh,
being there. I think I got mostly decks and then I got a couple tricks, but
okay.
there are some really great tricks. And I would say, because this was early 2018. I remember this was like summer in June-ish, maybe earlier. Um, I would say when I really kickstarted my magic career, when I started doing it professionally, was September 2018, because that is when I booked the Sacramento Kings gig,
Yeah.
which is actually, yeah, also in Sacramento. They thought I lived there still, but I was living in LA, and they flew me back out to perform for the team, and that's when I got that. And that was one of my biggest gigs, and it was one of my first. So
Cool.
they hit me up because they had seen my videos, and they were like, "Can you do magic for our players? Like, we'll just film them reacting to you," because they wanted this image of like this little magician girl and like performing for these
These
ginormous
big
basketball
dudes, yeah.
players. Yeah, so that is
Fun.
what, and it was pretty successful. Like, it was just to be like posted on social media, but it got like picked up by ESPN and like a couple like Sports Center, like stuff
Nice.
like that, which was cool. Um, and when they hit me up, I was like, yeah, I could do that. And I had never done anything like that. Like, I was not a performer. I was a cardist. Like, I knew some magic tricks, but I didn't really have scripting. Like, I had no performance experience. It was just mostly cardistry. And like, if you look back at that video, like what I'm doing is just pretty basic. It was just like whatever tricks like I knew, not really full routines. They were just like, here's a trick. There you go. Pick a card. I found it.
Well, I mean, just like anything, just like cardistry, you had to pick up a deck for the first time and start somewhere. Just like magic, you got to start somewhere. Pick it up, and off you go. Nick Earl's decks. I see some Mondrian Broadways right there. There they are. There they are.
Yeah, I had to do that for Nick.
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, more of course, more decks. It's Anna, more decks. um, you mentioned something in there too, where you started doing more stuff like with the Sacramento Kings, the NBA team. But you've also started to branch out now and do even more brand type of deals and things like that. As of recent, and I can bring up a picture just a second. I'm going to grab that. The Microsoft commercial. If you guys have seen the NFL season, the early part of the season, they were running this ad.
during the football game, which is huge, like airtime, like eyeballs,
Yeah.
because so many people watch football. Um, that's cool. I had no idea that. Well, one, I didn't know it's still running, but apparently it's still running, which is pretty cool because I think it came out in September.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like been 2 months. So
Yeah. Why don't you talk about
that is definitely one of the biggest brands I've worked with. One of them. I'm actually working with a couple now, so that's cool.
and who might they be, Anna DeGuzman? Who might these brands
I
be?
can't say one, and it's like
Come
it's a
on.
high-end designer brand. That's all I can say.
All right.
But I think that's like when we got that, I was like, what? They want to work with me? Like that's so cool that like I'm getting things like that now. Cause like when I started, like take anything. Like all the little brands, you know, a lot of like small magic companies, like I would just do whatever. To now be able, yeah, this is me with the Sacramento Kings. I like did the neck saw.
Yep.
But one I can talk about, I just did one with, and I mean, I literally just did it today earlier, which is why like we postponed this because I was at the shoot in downtown LA. It was with Huff. They're doing a Huff Playboy collab.
Nice.
And I did something with them. I think that's all I can say. I think the only reason I can say that is because we shot it today and it's launching this week. I think this weekend or maybe even tomorrow. I don't know, but I know it's soon, so like it's fine. You guys are gonna see the results of that. They're quick. The turnaround was really quick on that.
Cool. And you've also I was actually let the guys know too before I move on. The video that I showed, I'm going to put a link in the comments on YouTube and on Facebook after this for the warehouse tours. You guys should check out Anna's YouTube channel, all of her videos. But if you want to watch the full thing, I made a note to tell people that. I will have a link to that. If you're watching this later, I'll have a link pop up on YouTube as well. So just want to throw that out there too. The brand deal stuff. You've also been doing some trips lately. I saw you were in Mexico. Was that just vacation, having fun, or were you kind of because you're in this influencer circle now, right?
Luke like barely briefed me on what questions he's gonna ask me. I didn't know you were gonna ask me about Mexico. Yeah, I mean things are like opening up slowly.
Yeah.
You know, with everything going on, and I didn't realize how much travel was a big part of my life.
Mm-hmm.
To not be able to go around anywhere for so long, and I haven't left LA since the beginning of earlier this year, right? With everything.
Yep.
And yeah, Mexico was the first time I left the country, obviously. But for the most part, I've been in LA. I've been in like, different parts of LA, like Malibu or like Palm Springs and like Newport Beach or Orange County, San Diego. Like that's all California.
Mm-hmm.
But Mexico was the first time I actually got a chance to like really leave my LA bubble. And it was so therapeutic because like it's been hard. I'm sure other people feel the same way. Like it was really good to get out and experience change. I didn't really get to do a lot of magic. I don't think I did any. Maybe I filmed a couple TikToks. You guys should check out my TikTok, by the way. So if you want to see my TikToks of my trip in Mexico, it was great. It was actually, there's more to the trip in Mexico than I think I showed. Basically, it was Halloween. And I had gone out for Halloween, and it was the same LA stuff, same LA parties and stuff like that were like, I was over it. I'm over that stuff. And it was one of my very good friends. It was her birthday on November 1st. And she was in Mexico, and I decided to get our friends together, and we went to surprise her in Mexico.
Nice.
And so the day before, on the 30th, we were already planning out to go November 1st in the morning. And then October 31st, Halloween hit, and there in LA, Halloween is like the whole month. So it's ridiculous. And so on actual Halloween, I was over it. I was like, it's going to be the same thing we've been doing all week tonight. Like, what's different from these same people? I hit up my friends. I'm like, do you guys want to go early? And so we decided to go to Mexico that night. And we already had celebrated Halloween. So it was not like we missed anything. And then we surprised her. She had no idea. She had an idea because she's one of those girls that, it's hard to surprise her.
Yeah.
And we went to Mexico, and it was a big surprise. And then we filmed TikToks, ate good food, loved food. And then we went ATVing. I got this battle scar on my thumb. I know it doesn't look that bad, but you have to keep in mind, like, people are looking at your hands all the time. So things like this, to me, are very noticeable.
All right.
Yeah, we rode horses. Mexico stuff, because it's still not open. Not everything is open.
And as part of your travels, which is part of the reason I brought it up too, was you've been doing a lot of things with other people in the social media space, like the influencer crowd. And I know you've definitely plugged yourself into that. Um, is that something that you are going to continue to do, or are you going to move more to the brand stuff? Or are you going to kind of stay doing both? Or, the collaborations are huge, obviously, but I would think that's part of what helps you get to the next step. Building that audience helps to get the brand
Yeah.
deals and make those
I
connections.
mean, I think it's a huge part of like growing
Yeah.
in terms of like your following and stuff.
Mhm.
Collabing is never bad, I don't think. I think you only like grow both people or whoever many.
Yep.
Um, I'll always continue to collab. So I've never like gone as hard as I am right now in terms of social media. I've been posting almost every day. TikTok, Instagram, I mean, I'll miss a day or two, but like I've been posting very consistently lately
Mhm.
on Reels, on regular Instagram, on TikTok. I'm about to do YouTube. Actually, I totally forgot to mention that's also why I've been
Hey,
trying to do more of this kind of stuff because I want to be back in the community very and
cool. We will definitely link to your channel then as well, and make sure that people want to check it out for what's to come. They can keep up with you over there. Um, Harold over on YouTube's says, when you went to the Philippines, did you meet any magicians over there? I know that's a big part of who you are. So yeah.
I didn't get to. I think I just didn't I didn't have a chance to go meet up with people when I was there. I wish I went to this was last year. Oh gosh, I miss traveling. I went to the Philippines and I went to the mall and there was a magician selling or not a magician, it was just someone selling magic tricks at the
Okay.
mall, like in a little stand, very
Yep.
casual. Um and I put it out that I was in the Philippines and I wanted to meet up with people. I wanted to host a jam, but it was very difficult to like do it because I was also there with family
Mhm.
and I didn't know where to host a jam. I didn't know other magicians. And even though the Philippines is very small, like I don't think it's everyone who does magic and cardistry is super central to each other. So I didn't know if I could even like host something where people could get to.
Right.
Um, and then I went to Japan right after Philippines, and I did get to meet Hyde, who does Half Moon. I think it is. It's called Half Moon. It's a
Hmm.
magic show in Japan, and it
Okay.
was life changing. It was really good.
Nice.
It's in a bar in the sense that it was like it's 12 seats.
Whoa. Okay.
Like, it's so
Wow.
cool. Like it's a close up show, but it's in Japanese. But you understood exactly what he was saying. It was an amazing show. It's honestly one of my favorite shows.
Nice. Um, Here's a question for you. People are always looking for some inspiration. Paul over on YouTube would like to know if Anna was talking to someone who was on the verge of giving up cardistry, what would she say to them to inspire them? Yeah, maybe some
Well,
inspiration.
I would just be curious why you would want to quit cardistry. I mean, I just said like I did take breaks. Like
Yeah.
I hadn't touched a deck of cards for like months. I really like now I have a deck on me always. There's always one deck of cards on my in my purse or something. Like I always am ready to do magic and like specifically having cards on me because I feel like I'm the most versatile with cards. Otherwise, like I am always ready to do an impromptu trick.
Mhm.
Like cardistry, what would I say to someone who wants to quit? Like I just don't understand why you'd want to quit. Like I really don't because to me it's like it's something you can
I get it.
always do and you can always go back to. Like to say you're gonna quit cardistry is that like you mean like forever? Like why? You can
Maybe they're
always
just
take
having
take breaks.
trouble learning it or
Yeah.
something, or yeah.
Oh, is
Yeah.
that what you mean? Like
I'm just throwing it out there. Perhaps,
there
maybe, maybe.
easier moves. I think you have to decide like what you want. Like I honestly, when I found isolations, that really inspired me because I wasn't really good at packet cuts. And if you notice, like in my stuff, I don't really do packet cuts. It's just not a form of cardistry that I'm not good at it. And then I started doing isolations, and it was something I was actually a lot better in. So maybe you just got to find the cardistry that fits you because there's different types of it. There's like the more XCM type stuff that are like display based and structures. There's cardistroy. there's all different forms of cardistry. Maybe you haven't found the one that like you like the best.
Sure.
And when you try it, maybe that'll be your thing. Because I really wasn't that into cardistry until I found isolations.
All right. What
Or
about?
also, like, I'm a big advocate for taking a step back, take a break,
Yeah.
and then you realize how much you miss it, how much you love it, and you can come back even more. Um, what's the word?
Fired
Inspired.
up. So you mentioned that you always have a deck of cards on you, that you are totally plugged in again to this. And I'm going to have a sound effect coming in. Unfortunately, you won't be able to hear, but the guys will. The big question is, when the hell is there going to be an Anna DeGuzman deck of cards? Are you kidding me?
I want to do, I mean, it's been in the works. Trust me. Everyone is always like, and I know I should have just done
Duh.
it. I think it's because I got way too in my head that no one would get it. That's the honest truth. I was like, dude, I'm like so not tapped into the community anymore. I'm like, do people even support me? Like a lot of people see me do the social media stuff and they think like that's who I am. Like, no, I started because of magic and cardistry. Like that is who I am at my core. And that's why I do stuff like this for the community because I like this is what I at my core, this is what I'm about. Like the social media like pranks and skits and like all that LA Hollywood stuff, like that is secondary to me. And it's something like that was a byproduct of me posting videos. My core is me being a cardist and a magician and just loving performing. And also that I just have this like nerdy side to me that like I am so into cards. Like I have a deck collection of hundreds of cards. I watch magic videos all the time. I go to shows as much as I can, or back when they were like live.
Yep.
I just love that. So the deck has just when I like took a hiatus, I I kind of felt like I lost a lot of that following, like because people just saw me not doing as much magic, and I was like, if I came out with a deck right now, no one would buy it because no one is like like no one sees me as a cardist anymore. No one sees me as a magician anymore because I'm not active in the community. So I want to be more active in the community and like when it's right, I will come out with a deck and hopefully like people will like it. And I want to do a good deck. I don't want to just like slap something together and like say that's mine. Like I
Yeah.
want
Sure.
a deck that represents me and that people will actually use. And like there are a few decks in the cardistry community at least that I really like. I'm like, that's a cool deck. This is not just another design. That is like really well thought out. But it's soon. I think I'll do it. I wanted to do it after starting my YouTube channel because I felt like the YouTube channel would be
Yep.
what would help launch the deck.
Sounds good. And again, you
But
guys check out her channel.
I'm glad people are asking because
Yeah.
that means there's
Yeah.
some interest.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sitting here wondering that too. Like, Jesus, like
Can we
you.
get one, Luke? You get my deck.
Yeah. You kidding me? Yeah.
Cool.
Gotta have a
It probably
brick. Anna,
it
you know,
probably
you don't just buy one deck
better.
of something. You buy a brick. I'd have to buy a brick.
I I hope so. I mean, I'm thinking it would be a Kickstarter actually because I think the part of me that started, everyone started as a Kickstarter. Like
Yeah.
Fontaine started as a Kickstarter.
Yeah.
To me, I like the community aspect of people contributing to your project
Sure.
because I wouldn't be here without all of you. So I wouldn't just release a deck. I feel like that's too like transactional. If I just like release a deck and like put it up for sale, I would love to do a Kickstarter where I offer different like pledge amounts and offer more than just a deck.
Well, I know damn well that there's a company that would definitely back the hell out of that. And I do know, by the way, as a Murphy's,
Yeah.
as someone that works at Murphy's, I happen to know someone that would be great in the trailer for this deck of cards. I wonder who that could be.
I wonder, who
I
knows?
have no idea. Yeah. um, that is a cool way to look at it, though, doing it as a community based thing. I think that's very, very smart.
I think that's just me again, like going back to my roots of that is how when I started getting in the community, how I saw people launch their decks.
Yep.
I don't think there's anything wrong with Kickstarter at all. I think that's like almost even that's just like how the magic community is. Like that's how people, because I have a lot of friends who do e-commerce and have brands of their own, which is like so cool. And they're just like, just do a Shopify, just do this, do that. And I'm like, it's not like that. Like you don't know this industry like I do. Like it's more personal to me than just like, hey, put it on a site, get it manufactured, and like have a distributor. It's not like that for me. I I have like too much of a personal attachment to just like make it a product for sale and you buy.
Cool.
Like
Yeah, says a lot
it's
about you. You know?
so much more to me than that. It's like a whole. It's there's like a story to it. Like the deck would represent me. So like I want anyone to be able to use it, but like when they do it, I want them to know that they're supporting me and what the deck represents, which is like not just being female, because I don't really like to ride on that too much, because that's like, again, like I try to stay away from like being like, oh, she's the best female cardist. Like why can't I just be a great female cardist or a great cardist? Sorry, no female
Right.
part.
Right. Right.
You know?
Right. Yeah. You know, since you brought up the female side of things again, I'm curious about something. I know that most of the people watching this are going to be guys, but I'm certain of it. There's going to be some girls that pop in, some younger people, maybe even some older people that are like, "Oh my God, this is a thing." And what kind of advice would you give to people that are like wanting to jump deeper into the world of cardistry or magic? You know, that are female.
Um, just do it. Stop caring what other people think. I think that is
Dig it.
the easiest thing to say to someone, hardest thing to implement. Like it's just when I stopped trying to please everyone else and just did what I wanted, then that's when it became so much easier because it wasn't like I had to conform, you
Yeah.
know. I kind of just do me. And if people like that, great. But if they don't, it's like it was for me anyway. I'm not here to for anyone else.
Right. Well said. Yeah.
Any final questions for me, Luke?
I'm looking through, and a lot of them are just people honestly saying they would 100% back the deck. So that's cool.
Oh,
How about one more question, and then we'll get out of here. You got time for one more?
yeah, of course.
Cool. This one's from Ethan. Do you go to conventions? Why don't we talk a little bit about the convention side of
Well,
things?
conventions are closed right now, but otherwise, I was at a lot of conventions. I went to Magic Live.
Yeah.
I really wanted to go to the one in the UK because that's the
Oh,
biggest one. And
Blackpool. Yeah.
I've been to Magic Live many times, many years in a row. I've done lectures and performances at like smaller ones, like Battle of Magicians, like the one in Ohio,
Mm-hmm.
the one in what's the one Genie? I did Genie last year. That was in
Oh, in
Orlando.
Orlando. Yep. Mm-hmm.
I'm doing some actually coming up, like online ones on Zoom.
Cool.
So that's a thing, but nothing's like a real live convention. I miss magic conventions because that's like the central to bring all the like all the nerdiest parts of me like light up at a convention. Like I honestly I enjoy being a spectator. Like I get fooled easily and I love watching.
Nice.
I love being fooled. Like I love watching. I mean, I expect people to tell me how it works after, but I do like just having that moment of wonder back where I really don't know how anything works. And you
Yeah.
get introduced to like
I
some
agree.
new tricks and stuff in like the dealer rooms and stuff. So that's cool.
So fun, isn't it? It's so fun.
I miss those. I miss it. And we didn't have live this year.
I know. Yeah.
Oh, so many things.
The only reason I asked you about conventions was because someone asked this as well, and I know about the con. The street says, "Are there just cardistry conventions?" Which leads me to the con. Why don't you talk about the cardistry, the card con, cardistry con?
Cardistry Con?
Yeah,
The Cardistry Con?
yeah.
Cardistry Con is I went to the very first one in Brooklyn, and then the one after that was in LA or no, in Germany.
Yep.
And
And
then
then
I and
Oregon, right?
then LA. And then I think the one after LA was
Was it
uh
Portland? I think it was where Sean is, right?
no.
No.
It is because they do America International, America International. So it was New York,
Okay.
Germany, LA, and then I want to say, was it Japan? I didn't go to it, so I don't remember. But
Let's see.
I stopped going to them actually. Well, not that I stopped. I would love to still go. I just didn't really feel super welcome. And then and again, this was during the time that I kind of took a break. So
Got it.
I didn't
Okay.
go to that one. I didn't, and then I haven't been to one since.
So
Yeah.
so to answer the question to the guy that asked, yes, there are cardistry
Oh,
conventions. So check
oh,
them
I
out.
didn't know that. I didn't know that was the question. I thought you were saying like talk about cardistry con. I didn't know if
Oh
you were
no,
asking.
that's okay. Yeah, I kind of led you to that one. Yeah, I
Yeah,
pretty much
there
led you
are
to
other
that. Yeah,
cardistry.
yeah,
There are cardistry conventions.
yeah,
They're run by Dan and Dave, and I love them. I think they're like the OG cardists. Respect them and everything they've built as well. Like with Art of Play, they've really like built a whole
yeah.
brand that
Oh yeah.
exceeds them. Um, but yeah, I would love to go to Cardistry Con. I would love to speak. I would love to be a part of it when it's back.
Yep, yep. Also, I think you know Michael Chow. Michael's here. He says hello. He's over Monday
Oh
Night
my!
Magic. Yeah,
Do I know Michael Trout?
yeah. It's great. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you out there, Michael. All right, cool. Well, with that said, unless you had any last words, I've been plugging your Instagram. It is right there on the bottom on your left. On Yep, there it is at Anna DeGuzman. Any other social places? Obviously YouTube. Where should they find you out there, Anna? Plug, plug, plug.
I'm gonna plug so hard. You guys can follow me on Instagram at Anna DeGuzman. It's right there.
Yep.
Right here. Okay, yeah, there. My TikTok is at Anna DeGuz. So ANNADEGUZ, because unfortunately I couldn't get Anna DeGuzman. And then my YouTube, be on the lookout for my YouTube, because I am going to go on YouTube super hard. I want to give you more long form content, and it'll be magic and in cardistry, but it'll also just be a little bit more about my life here in LA and all the people I get to hang out with, and a little bit more lifestyle. And that is at it's Anna D. So ITSANNAD. And then I do have a secondary channel on YouTube, a vlog channel. It's not really a vlog channel, it's more like behind the scenes, and like it's Anna D has more of like the produced content that I like edit really nice and make sure it's clean and nice. It's Anna D is a little bit more casual and more like me talking. And that's Anna D TV. So ANNAD TV. I know that's a lot, and they're all different names, which is so annoying. But I couldn't get Anna de Guzman on all of them. If I could, I would totally do that. And I have a Facebook, and I don't know. You can. It's all the same. Just like I would say, if you really want to talk to me about something, DM me on Instagram. That's the one where I'm like most active.
Sweet. All right. Very cool. And you guys should check her out. Obviously, she's doing a lot of fun stuff, and the best is yet to come. I'm sure of that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Cool. All right. Well, thank you, Anna, for the time. We all appreciate it. Me in particular, for sharing some of your time with me here. So thank you for that. Much appreciated.
Thank you so much for having me, Luke.
Yeah.
Thanks
Cool.
everyone for watching. I hope you're all staying safe, and be on the lookout for some more stuff from me.
And Anna DeGuzman playing cards, obviously. So.
Yeah, it's happening soon.
All right, guys. From me and the Queen of Cardistry, Anna DeGuzman, we are out of here. Catch you guys next time. See ya.
Bye.